I'm waiting for this thing to tell me we are there. We are all right. We are live for our week 8 preview episode. We are back after a 2-week hiatus. We were very emotionally worn out after the Cardinals game. Then we had the short week with the Broncos, so we didn't do it that week. But this week, we got our good friend Jim in here. He was on our preview episode to help us preview the Pittsburgh Steelers beforehand, before the season. So this is the preview episode of the Steelers of the Bark and Brown Show. I am Jacob at Roachism13 on Twitter, joined as always by Nick Carnes at Carnesies817 on Twitter, and we're just going to dive right onto the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not going to say fuck the Steelers like I did on my other show. Oh, wait, I just did. I knew he was going to do it. I knew he was going to bring up the Super Bowl banner behind.
Yeah, I had to make sure I placed that perfectly behind me, guys. I had the rings last time. Got to have the banner this time. I got a lot more. This is the only place I'm allowed to have my Steelers stuff, so it's all in my office.
You can see it's all in my office as well.
This is my prized possession. It's a cowbell.
I love it.
It gets pretty loud here on Sundays.
I'm pretty jealous of that banner hanging behind you. I'm not gonna lie. That's a beautiful thing right there. So, Jason,
I'm a Cleveland baseball fan, I guess. I don't know what your team's called anymore, but they are my preferred baseball team, and my baseball team is straight trash. So you got that over me.
There you go. So Jim's gonna help us preview the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think this is gonna be one of our better preview episodes because we have a Steeler fan on to talk about this sort of thing. So we're gonna start from the top. We're gonna go offense. We're gonna go defense. And I don't know. Maybe we'll talk special teams. I don't know if that's been it's not been a big thing. I didn't know if it was or not. Like if it's been so with Pittsburgh. So we're gonna ask Jim's opinion. Then Nick and I will weigh in. So Jim. Offense. Take us through the offense.
The Steelers' offense, I mean, it's going to be the same thing you've seen all year. It's going to be short passes, Roethlisberger trying to get to the line kind of quick. Not a real no huddle. They don't really have a no huddle, but he hurries up the huddle, whatever you want to call it. The thing is now versus the beginning of the year, that young O-line is starting to finally gel. That doesn't mean they're good. They're still probably bottom of the league, 25th or worse, but they're better. Roethlisberger isn't getting hit 14 times a game. He's getting hit 4 or 5 times a game. So you're going to see more chances for the ball downfield. Is he going to hit those chances now? I don't know. Juju Smith is out for the rest of the year. James Washington's still battling injuries. Eric Ebron's not really playing too much. Freiermuth is a rookie. That leaves you with Claypool and Johnson. Your defense can take those 2 guys out of the game. Najee Harris is the key for the Steelers. Can he keep it going? He's been getting better. He's averaging 100 yards from scrimmage, not 100 rushing yards. But in the Steelers offense, 100 from scrimmage is the best you're going to get out of a running back right now. The key, too, for the O-line, Zach Banner coming back at right tackle. Chuks Okorafor moving back over to left tackle, which is his natural position. I don't know if that's confirmed yet, but I'm pretty sure Banner, he's been off the IR now for a week or 2. He's a monster. I mean, you guys had him out there when you went 0-16. Not that that's a very, good sign for him because he couldn't even start on that team. But this guy's a monster at right tackle. If he can run block, he's better than what they were doing, because he can't be that bad at pass blocking. He's seriously like 6'8", 380 pounds. The guy's like 3 refrigerators in one. So the Steelers, they're going to be okay. Now, I think I said this maybe on Twitter to you earlier in the week. If the Browns get out to an early lead, that's it, game over. Pittsburgh can't play comeback. They're not that kind of team. They're not a quick strike team, although they quick pass. They can't score quickly. They don't score early. I know you guys are beat up, but if you can get a couple drives where you run the ball down the throat of the Steelers defense, which has kind of been slacking off lately, it's going to be bad news bears for Pittsburgh. So they need no turnovers, or at least to win that turnover battle. And Najee Harris has got to have 100 scrimmage yards, or there's no chance for the Pittsburgh offense.
Well, I was going to ask you about Najee's involvement in the pass game. I think that for me would be their key. You talk about his scrimmage yards. I think his open field ability is got to be next level kind
Yeah.
of stuff. Like some of the best plays I have seen and I haven't watched as much Steelers film as I early on in the year. I watched a little bit more, but I got a little bit busier at work as things went on. I haven't seen as much film lately, but that's where he seems to be in his best, man. Those swing passes, that screen game, which kind of where Cleveland's running backs are at their best. Like that, the open field ability. There's been some, early on the run blocking. I took a little cheap shot at the Steelers run blocking today on Twitter, and we had a little conversation about it. But getting somebody like that in the open field, I don't need to see, we just talked about this on our main episode this week, that the Browns, when JOK was out this past weekend, he will be out again this weekend. He's on IR. Without JOK, they are not defending swing passes and screen passes very well. And that's exactly what Najee's been doing the best at.
Yep.
So for me, that's where I'm worried about. Nick, what do you think about when you think about Steelers on offense?
You know what? The last two times, whether it has been Mason Rudolph or Ben Roethlisberger, Chase Claypool has really had his way with the Browns secondary, and I think they struggle particularly against the bigger receivers, and so I think he is probably the biggest concern that I have. It's Denzel Ward's not huge. Greg Newsom's a little bigger, but Greedy Williams, it's just. And especially because it just seems like the Browns have been playing off and Chase just thrives under that to me. So I definitely have concerns there. And you know what? I talk a lot, but Najee Harris is a talented, exceptional player, and I think for him to like Jim, like you said, for him to be averaging over 100 yards from scrimmage with the line the way like that is, I think that's impressive. So obviously I'm concerned about him, but I definitely think even if Pittsburgh did get down, I think Claypool is probably the biggest thing that I'm concerned about.
Matchup wise, I think that comes down to just the matchup. Right now, Cleveland is playing a lot of soft off man, not off man, but soft off coverages, especially on 3rd and long. They're like 3rd and long. They'll be like, "Hey, we're gonna send 6 at you and play quarters."
The Steelers do the same thing, and then you throw a short pass in front of them, you run 3 yards, you get the first down, and you're pulling your hair out trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
So I see the worry with, and they've also struggled to tackle the last couple weeks. Cleveland has. So like Claypool, that is. I don't like him like off the field. I think he's kind of like, I don't know. He seems
you
like
guys who kick people in the face when they're down. What's wrong with you? Come on.
Yeah.
Guys.
Seems like a stand-up citizen.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever listened to Mark Madden, Pittsburgh radio. Okay, the 3 to 6 slot. If you don't like the Steelers, you probably want to listen to him because he's the only guy in Pittsburgh who just dogs the Steelers every day. I love Mark Madden. Shout out to this guy if he ever hears this, because he's the only one that tells it like it is. He calls out Juju. He calls out Claypool. He calls Juju AB Jr. and Claypool's AB Jr. Jr. And he just rips these guys to shreds for being a joke. This isn't the Steeler way. Troy Polamalu is the last, and I mean, Ben is too. But really, to me, Troy Polamalu, he's the last of the greats, man. He really set the tone as a human being, a person, and then just one of the best football players of all time, no matter what decade. You could have threw that guy in anywhere, and he would have been good.
I absolutely agree. Like, Mark Madden is from time to time on Pat McAfee's show.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed it there.
You can listen to him on the iHeartRadio app. Since I'm down in West Virginia, that's how I listen to him now.
That's what I have to do. I'm down in Athens, so when I try to listen to like the Browns, like the pressers, they run it on like 92 The Fan up there in Cleveland. So I have to do it that way. So let's shift over to the defense. We know that Minka has had a little bit of a down year, but he also always slays Cleveland. So, like, no matter what statistics or grades say about Minkah Fitzpatrick, I don't like facing Minkah Fitzpatrick, no matter what. And you can't say enough superlatives about that line. Highsmith, who I was very high on in the preseason, I tried to say that I think he's better than Bud Dupree. I know that was a wild thing for me to say, but
I totally agree, especially long term.
there you go. And TJ is what he is. Like, okay, great.
There's bad, but he should be slapped. I mean, it doesn't matter if you hate him or not. He's one of those guys. It's like Garrett. I hate Garrett, but I can't say he's a bad player. That's just you don't know
Lamar's
football.
The case in point on that guy. I don't like Lamar because he kills the Browns, but he's really freaking good. So let's talk about the Steelers defense and kind of some keys for them on Sunday.
So people kind of have that same narrative, I think, that you do. Maybe narrative's not the right idea or right word. Minkah having the down year. He looks statistically like he is having the down year, but it's really been the difference of a few inches. And I'm not one of those people that say, well, he was close, that's good enough. Last time we talked, I said it. I hate participation trophies. You got to get it done. He's going to be paid, one of the highest paid safeties in the league after this year. His job's to create turnovers. But he has been inches away on 4 or 5 different occasions, which, even if you get half of those, it makes statistically, he's having a Pro Bowl year. He's tracking for it. So it's kind of been one of those things. And then the other part is you have Stephon Tuitt still out dealing with, depression and stuff from when his brother was killed. You have Alu out now with the ankle injury. You have Devin Bush coming back off of ACL surgery, not looking like the Devin Bush of his rookie season, not yet at least. Mm-hmm. Schobert, he's been worth the 5th round pick they gave up for him because the guy behind him, Spillane, is absolute trash. So you needed something.
Yeah.
But then the back end has just not been that great. Hayden's a year slower. You have Pierre, who's kind of filling in now that Mike Hilton's gone. He's not that good. Cam Sutton's trying to do everything. So this great Steelers defense is good. It's not great. TJ Watt is great. Highsmith is great. They still get to the quarterback. But where is this, they're going to carry this team to the promised land defense? I was at the Denver game. I watched them almost lose that game. Sure, they intercepted the ball at the end, but it was literally, 2 yards away from losing that football game at the very end. And then they almost lost it, the last time they played too there at the end. So when you almost lose a game to Geno Smith at quarterback, you need to evaluate what you're doing on defense. I mean, that's not winning football. That's off football. So the Steelers, this great defense coming into the year is now average. Bush needs to get it going. The D-line, I mean, how can you blame them? Hayward's the only one left. They need to hold it together. The defense, the offense, it's funny you mentioned special teams a little earlier. That's going to be the key to most Steeler victories. We need some kind of splash play. Doesn't have to be a block. Our punter is a rookie. He's been shanking some punts. We need him to stop doing that. We need that field position battle. You know what I mean? We need to win old-fashioned football. So this defense needs to slow Cleveland down, somehow stop that running game. You guys are putting anybody back there at running back, and they're running all over everybody. I mean, put one of the 3 of us back there, and I think we're getting at least 75 yards.
I think so, yeah.
Break my knee in the process, but I probably get it. So I don't know what they're going to do, man. I really don't. It's going to be a tough game. Keenum is kind of the key for the Steelers defense. Will he implode? Will he rise to the occasion? If he can have even a good game, it's going to be hard for Pittsburgh to win. But if Keenum kind of struggles a little bit and, falters a little bit, which, all backup quarterbacks can do that. It's no knock on anybody. That's Pittsburgh's going to have to try to jump on that. They need a turnover or they need a splash play on defense or on special teams. They have to win that turnover battle.
I'll give them a word of advice. Go back and watch Thursday Night Football. And as long as you put your strongest rusher against Andrew Billings on the field goal team, you'll blow his fat ass out of the water and block the kick every fucking time.
The Steelers got their one kick earlier in the year. That was terrible.
That is the one. Not to dwell too much on special teams, but the Browns finally have a kicker again,
Yes.
right? And like
nice.
Chase McLaughlin is not. He hasn't missed, which is
It feels good.
yeah. It's been a long time for that, but you know what? It's interesting because I was like looking at the Steelers' defensive statistics, and it's like week 1 they give up 16 to Buffalo and win, and in retrospect, I mean that looks amazing,
Looks
right?
really good.
Yeah, and then you fast forward and it's like you're in an overtime game with Seattle and you gave up 101 yards to Alex Collins, man, and I'm just like, what is I don't know. So I was definitely feeling nervous about the Steelers defense before the initial practice reports come out. So it looks like Jack Conklin and Nick Chubb are going to be back for this game. So I'm this is the first time the Browns offensive line is going to be intact in a few weeks now, and so I think that's really big. But you definitely said it, Jim. You know what? Sorry, what?
Since week 3.
Okay, since week 3, so it's been a while now. It's been a month. So you know what? When the Browns play the Steelers in week 5, right? Minka picks Baker off immediately, puts the Browns in a hole, and then their pass rush.
They never came back.
No, never. Like the offense just looked putrid, but then conversely, it's like then when the Browns play the Steelers in the playoffs, they get a turnover immediately and they never look back. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. I think both defenses are very good at pass rushing, and so it's like either way, if you put the other team in a hole, it's probably going to be really tough for them to come back. So the thing I worry about most is putting if it is Keenum, because there's some of this stuff, Stefanski does this like Belichick stuff where like he doesn't tell you anything about injuries, so we have no idea. Like Baker may play, maybe, I don't know.
He's supposed to practice Wednesday.
Yeah. So we'll see. I lost where I was going with that. But
we don't know who will be quarterback, I think.
We don't know who is going to be the quarterback, but I think regardless, it's just if you let the Steelers pass rush just say, okay, we're going to come kill you, that's not going to be good. That is not going to be good. Even with the Browns' great offensive line, it's like, like you said, TJ Watt is good. I still think Melvin Ingram's doing pretty well for himself, is he not? Yeah.
Why do I forget about him all the time? He's had a good year.
Yeah, they're just rotating him. So, he's only getting about 30 snaps a game, but they're 30 really good snaps.
So, it's kind of like Tack. That's what Tack McKinley's kind of done in Cleveland, because Clowney's playing pretty good, and then Tack comes in for like 20, 25 snaps. They're all right. He's not been bad. But guys, let's make some picks. Okay. We have talked about the offense. We've talked about the defense. I think, Jim, you've done a phenomenal job. I appreciate you joining us, of course. I think you've done a really good job breaking it down. That's better than I could have. It's really nice that I said this the other day. I thought you, and then we're going to connect with our friend Vance, who helped us with the Bengals. I think he may join us next week to and I was like, building these relationships, and I appreciate our banter, me and you. Jim, I always know when I know there's one coming, I'm like, if something happens that I know the Browns can get made fun of for it, I'm like, Jim's going to get me. He's going to find the right point, and he's going to get me, and I love it every time.
I work from home, man. All I got is time, baby, so I just sit there.
I love it. All right, guys, we do not pick. Our year-long bet is going. We are still taking suggestions as to what the punishment will be when we lose. Whoever loses, I lost the 53-man roster bet, so I'm really bitter, and I'm trying really hard. We have not made picks for a couple of weeks. We will get updated here. I'm 44-30. Nick is, 45-29. After a really good week 5, he has taken over. I was leading by 2 games. I'm now trailing by a game. Jim's going to help us pick tonight. He's going to make his picks as well. We're going to start with the Sunday games. We're not picking Thursday. The show's recorded earlier in the week. I don't want anybody on the internet to suggest we cheated, so we're not going to do it. So from the top, we got a game that I thought wouldn't be close, and now all of a sudden, I don't know what the hell is going on in Carolina. We got the Carolina Panthers. We got the Atlanta Falcons. Sam Darnold is spiraling out of control. I think that continues. I'll take the Falcons.
What's the line in that game?
Atlanta -3.
Doesn't matter what I pick, because like I said before we started talking here on the air, guys, Atlanta's going to screw me either way. So I'm just going to pick Carolina. And then, if you guys both pick Atlanta, then you're safe is kind of what I'm looking for. I'm here to help out. I want to add to the show here. So that's my way of giving back, even though Cleveland hasn't won a Super Bowl in my entire life.
Oh, there it is.
You know what? I just think Carolina is the better overall team. So I guess I take Carolina. And not happily, but I take Carolina.
I love these games where you just go, I guess.
I'm not thrilled, but I'll do it.
I got a team that, man, these guys have fallen, man. The Dolphins are bad.
1-6.
1-6.
Tua
And you gotta go
good.
to.
Where's that second year progression for Tua? It's not there.
Yeah.
Then that's apparently the only place Deshaun Watson wants to go. That'll be fun to watch as what the deadline's next Tuesday, right? The second.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up, so we're almost there. So Dolphins, Bills, I'm taking Buffalo by 1 million. The line is the line's 13.5.
I'd still take Buffalo all day on that one.
Buffalo, I think, is far and away the best team in the AFC right now, so give me Buffalo.
We've got the 49ers and the Bears. I think the Niners are a little bit better than 2-4, but I don't know what's going on with their quarterback there. The Bears, it's a 3.5 line, so it's actually San Francisco minus 3.5 on the road. And that feels right. I'll take the Niners.
It's tough because I read today they don't know if Garoppolo's playing, who's their quarterback. I'm going to go out on a limb and take the Bears as a dark horse. Maybe Fields puts a game together. The 49ers are one of those teams that everybody thinks they're going to be good, and then they're not really that good.
Really.
So screw them. Screw the West Coast. I hate California. Let's go Bears.
I can't say that you know what? I have a soft spot in my heart for Kyle Shanahan, and just I love the run game and all of that. So I just, and you know what? It's like they just make Justin Fields look so dumb every other week. You know what? I like the Bears. I have to pick the 49ers.
I get it. I do, because I'm a big Justin Fields guy, so it struggles. We're going to skip the Browns-Steelers game. We'll pick that at the end,
Okay.
just for obvious reasons. You got the battle of some awful teams. Can the Lions, who are 3.5-point underdogs at home, can they beat the Eagles? You know what? They can. And I'm going to take Detroit to get off the schneid on Sunday.
I like that pick. Detroit at home. I mean, who are the Eagles? They're nobody. So, screw the Eagles. Detroit's got to get a win one of these days. They can't have 2 winless seasons, can they?
I hope not.
I can't. You know what? I can't help myself. I keep getting trapped by Philadelphia, and I'm gonna get trapped by Philadelphia again. I'm taking the Eagles. The Lions have been in every game they've played, which is really, kudos to them. I just think that Philly has more talent than they do, and so there I am.
I think the Eagles will get good here, just maybe not this year, but they do. You're right, Nick. They have talent there.
The Titans rolled over Kansas City. They're 1-point favorites on the road in Indianapolis. I still have no idea what to think about Indianapolis and what they are or what they aren't. I'm pretty sure what they aren't is a very good team at quarterback. So I'm going to take the better quarterback in this matchup. So I'm going to take Tennessee.
You said it's only -1 Tennessee?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a division game, but I would assume it would be about -3 or 4 the way they just, throttled Kansas City. But yeah, at -1, I'm taking Tennessee because Carson Wentz is made of glass, guys. I mean, if you throw him against the wall and throw my cell phone against the wall, my cell phone's going to be fine, and he's going to be broke 8 phones, okay? He's got a lot of arm talent, you know what I mean? But he's not an NFL player. The best ability is availability, right? They say it all the time. The old coaches used to preach it. And it's not just concussion stuff, so I can make fun of him. He sprained both ankles in one game, guys.
Yeah.
Come on. How long have you guys been loving sports? Have you ever heard of somebody spraining both ankles
Oh, no.
Not in one go. No.
Yeah.
You know what? It doesn't make sense because both of Tennessee's like corners tore their ACL against. I think it was 2 weeks previous, and then they go to Kansas City or Kansas City came to them, and they just roll them. So the Titans are the hottest team in the AFC at least right now. So I have to ride with them.
Yeah, makes sense. We got a couple of stinkers here real quick that I don't even think really need discussed. The Bengals are 10-point favorites on the road against the Jets, who will probably start Joe Flacco. So
Bengals still.
Yeah.
Bengals.
we're just gonna shake that one off with a little Cincinnati. The 6-1 Rams are 14.5-point favorites on the road against the Texans, who I think are still rolling with Davis Mills. Just give me the Rams by a lot.
Yep. Even on the road.
Yeah, I can't. Matt Stafford's awesome. Rams.
All right, an interesting game here because I think Mac Jones played really well last weekend. Better than I thought, regardless of who you played, better than I thought he really could this year. I thought it was a very good game out of Mac Jones. The Patriots are on the road. They're at SoFi against the Chargers, who the last time we saw the Chargers, they got the doors blown off of them in Baltimore. The Chargers at home, they're 5.5-point favorites. I think this is probably a good game. I'm still going to take the Chargers.
Yeah, across the country, rookie quarterback, even though it's Belichick, Herbert's too good, taking the Chargers.
Coming off a bye and a bad loss, I think the Chargers will be pissed. Give me LA.
And they're good. The Chargers are good, at least offensively. The Jaguars travel to Seattle, who is 2-5. I guess I just realized Seattle was 2-5. Seattle's 3-point favorites at home. Ooh, give me Jacksonville.
Yeah, if Geno Smith plays, I'll take Jacksonville to cover. If Russell Wilson plays, I would take Seattle.
I think Geno Smith has been okay in relief. I mean, and it is Seattle, so I'm going to take Seattle.
I also wanted to change some things up, and I knew I had to try to because I got to gain some ground on Nick. So I was like, just give me Jacksonville. Fuck it. All right, Washington and Denver. Denver is 3-point favorites at home. I'm back and forth on this one. I'm not really sure Denver's offense, what they can do. Teddy Bridgewater is operating on one leg. That's still a pretty good defensive front in Washington. You know what? Give me the football team.
Yeah, I almost call them the Redskins again to call them the football team, and I live like 10 minutes away from the Virginia border, so I don't know why I can't remember it. But I'll take Washington here too. Henneke, he's going to be mad after last week, getting screwed out of that touchdown. I watched Denver play. They almost beat Pittsburgh, but it wasn't because of anything they did special. It's because the Steelers defense crumbled at the end of the game. So, yeah, screw Denver.
I just don't think Denver is very good, and I'm huge Terry McLaurin fan. I like Taylor Heineke too. I'll take Washington.
See, I thought I was gonna be unique on that one. I was not. Okay. Tampa are 5-point favorites on the road in the Superdome. Give me Tampa Bay. I mean, Brady's just feeling it again.
I'm taking Saints to cover, but Tampa to win. But I don't know. Sometimes Brady has those bugaboo games where you expect him to blow them out. I think this one could be that game.
So I'm going to take Tampa Bay. But it's you know what? It was weird. I was thinking about it because they're the 4:00 game last week, and the Bucks are up some stupid score on Chicago, and Brady's still just. They got the whole first team in. I was surprised that it didn't get more chippy because that's risky. Good luck to you what is the point of playing? Imagine trotting your 43-year-old quarterback out there when you're up 3 scores at the end of the third. I don't know.
When Chicago was not moving the ball at all.
And I don't know.
Give me Blaine Gabbert.
Well with me. But still, I got to take Tampa Bay because Brady's on a mission.
Sunday Night Football. The 5-1 Cowboys. the 3-3 Vikings. Dallas are 2.5-point favorites on the road. Give me Kirk Cousins and the Vikings.
Kirk Cousins is one of those guys that screws me as bad as Atlanta. So I'll take Dallas, and we'll see if we can screw Kirk Cousins back.
Let's see.
I've learned my lesson about Dallas. I will not disrespect them anymore. Give me Dallas.
My good friend Isaac's Giants are on Monday night against the Chiefs, who are 10-point favorites at home. They just got blown out. Patrick Mahomes just tweeted like back to work or something like that. That sounded very like locked in to me. Like here's another week or something. I don't know. I just saw it. Yeah, give me the Chiefs.
Chiefs coming off a bad loss any day. They're going to blow out whoever the hell they play unless it's somebody like Tampa Bay.
I can't. I mean, I can't pick. The Giants suck, right?
That's all you need to say. Giants suck. You
can just leave it right there and walk away. All right, guys. It's the game of the week. It's what should be on Monday Night Football because that's going to be a terrible game.
Really
that is going to be a terrible game.
Especially before the season, it really looked to be even a better game. Teams, 1 or 2 losses each.
Yeah.
All right. We're rolling in it. Nick, by the way, picked against the Browns when they played Arizona and they got boat raced. And I'm not letting Nick.
It's your fault.
I can't pick the Browns every week. I can't be.
We got the Browns. We got the Steelers. We don't know who plays at quarterback for Cleveland, but I think Nick Chubb is the X factor in this game, so I'm going to take the Browns.
What's the line?
The Browns minus 3.5. So about a push.
I think
42
Pittsburgh surprises people, and they're a little better. I think they get Keenum on a sack fumble or something. It's going to be a freak play that wins it for Pittsburgh. It's not going to be they dominated or anything like that. It's going to be one play if Pittsburgh wins the game that wins in that game. Maybe a sack fumble by T.J. Watt, and then Boswell gets to kick a field goal to win it, or maybe even an overtime game. But I think Cleveland definitely has a chance to blow Pittsburgh out. But I got to homer it up here and take the Steelers.
I can't blame you. I can't. You know what? I think this game, realistically, I think this game could go either way. But I told Jacob this already. Last week was the first time the Browns truly imposed their will on an opponent. When Denver knew they were running, the Browns knew they were running, and it did not matter. And so based on that and the fact that the whole offensive line and Nick Chubb are back, I'm picking the Browns.
All right, guys.
I said, I could see it being a train wreck for the Steelers, but I got to hold on hope. I was at the only game they lost, Ben Roethlisberger's lost in Cleveland. I think I told you guys that last time. It was not a good night.
Sometimes a blind dog finds a bone. It is what it is. Jim, we thank you very, very much for your time this evening, man. It was great talking to you. Thank you, everybody that was here for us. This has been the preview episode for the Pittsburgh Steelers Week 8. We will see you guys back on Tuesday for a regular episode. As always, go Browns.
Browns.
Let's Steelers.